My name's José Vazquez. I grew up in church all my life, and thankfully being able to find Neo has been a really great thing for myself and for my family. We've been here now just a little bit over 2 years, and it's really allowed us to find a new home. And growing up, that's what church was like. It was home. Most of my family went there. My mom's one of 11, and 7 of her siblings all live here, and almost all of them went to the same church. So like when I went to church, it was to go see family, and that's what church felt like. A lot of people there really kind of came around you and kind of helped you growing up, and little by little things just over time just kind of changed. Our pastor left, a new pastor came in, and a lot of that allowed just for things within your faith, things that you have heard, things you had seen, just kind of mold you into obviously like who you become as a teenager, who you become as an adult. And that really allows you either to go one way or go in another. And unfortunately for myself, that did kind of push me into the opposite direction that I wish I would have went. Yeah, so I was away from the church, away from God for about 10 years. And I met my wife when I was about 25, met at the salon that she worked at the time. And very pretty. Obviously, I was very, very attracted to her. And one of the stipulations that she had before we could start dating was like, she said, if we want to continue this, then church has to be a part of our life. And when she told me that church was an hour and a half on Sunday morning, and that was it, and I was like, oh, this is golden. This is easy. Like, I barely have to be awake to really be here. So I was like, sure, why not? Like, I'll just go. By the time I'm all the way awake, it's all done, and we can get out of here and kind of keep hanging out. But little by little, that's how the Lord was pulling me in, and that's how he knew he could start to pull on those cords or those strings that were attached to my heart that he had been planting my entire life from my parents, like my mom and my dad and my uncles, my siblings. They started pulling and pulling and pulling until April 24th of 2014 was when I regave my life back to Christ. And I've been back with him for now about 10 years, which has been a great ride, a bumpy ride, but a phenomenal ride. So we were out for Memorial Day weekend. We got invited down to this lake house to spend time. And growing up, like Memorial Day is typically in Cleveland has always been kind of cloudy, kind of rainy. And on this weekend, like the forecast was phenomenal. Like there was supposed to be no rain, like phenomenal weather, like in the 70s, like just great weather to be outside. And if you're from Cleveland, you want to be outside come Memorial Day in summertime. And that's what me and my family were looking forward to. So we were super excited. We got down there, got to hang out with some families. And then the day of, we were hanging outside in the morning. The kids are jumping on a bounce house. And I just kind of go off to the side before we're getting ready to go on a boat ride. I lay down on the floor and I just look up at the sky, and I'm just kind of enjoying and relaxing. And I still remember it. I can see it clear as day, where I was like, man, it's such a beautiful day. And I could just feel this peace, like just like an awesome peace, like blue skies, some white clouds. The weather was great. And from there, obviously, like we get on the boat, not a big boat, fit about 8 people. And originally I was gonna sit in the back of the boat with one of the husbands that was on the trip, and his wife, who was sitting up front next to my daughter, Lily. She was like, why don't you sit up front with Lily so that you guys can kind of enjoy it and spend time together as a father and daughter. So we did, we switched, and I'm very grateful for it. The moment where the accident happened, the boat ended up propelling my daughter forward, which allowed me to stand up very instinctively, very quick, and push her to the floor. The driver, his daughter, was at the very front of the boat, and she fell into the boat, very thankfully. But as you're standing and you're moving really quick, you kind of get left there kind of like a sitting duck. And the dock that we were about to crash into hit me on my left side, so it crashed into my left side of my ribs, pushed me into the boat. I got pinned on top of the boat, went through the windshield, and then the dock, after it hit me, just kind of rolled over and pinned me in between the dock and on top of the boat. The best way to imagine it, the best way that I can describe it, is just kind of like taking like an semi-empty or empty water bottle and just kind of squeezing it as best as you can. And that's what ideally what the dock and the boat were doing to me. From there, obviously from the pain, passed out. The EMS was able to come until this phenomenal angel that the Lord sent was a off-duty firefighter who was just driving his boat that afternoon, saw the entire thing, was able to park, come over, secure my neck, secure my back. Because when I woke up, I was in a complete daze, but when I was able to kind of come to it, that's when I was starting to like realize what was happening. Through it, obviously, like things are a little bit different. If you've ever gone through anything hard, you know that you question almost anything and everything. And there were moments where I was questioning myself, questioning like what my life would look like down the road, trying to figure out at what point am I gonna need whatever kind of surgery to like help myself continue to keep walking and keep functioning. And all those moments of anxiety, of just like overthinking things, just obviously bring you to a place where you kind of come to a halt and like you just have to like pause. But it allowed me to start to form these different mindsets on, I can't fix this. And if I can't fix this, and time will fix it, and God also has to be involved in that time frame. And that's where I began to kind of like lean in on him. And one of my verses that I've always kind of stuck to, very popular one, is Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, where it says like, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding, but in all your ways submit to him and he will make your path straight. So the funny thing that I've always kind of come back to with trusting is like with people, you trust someone because you can see something in them. You can see that they are trustworthy. And with the Lord, it's very similar because his word has given us all these different awesome promises. It's very easy, and I've done it myself, to just want to just shut down and kind of turn away. But in those moments, that's when community is the biggest piece. Because when we were going through my accident, that was when I was able to really see what the church really was. I still get emotional about it because it's something where as much as you can say thank you to someone, like you can never repay those moments, you can never repay those memories, like you can never repay what someone has allowed healing to happen. That's where I would say, like, if you're going through anything, man, even if it's just one person, a couple people, that community is what's gonna allow you to move to where God wants you to and where he's always wanted you to be.